Welcome back to Watergum Online and our online catchment crawl. We're going to take you on a virtual tour of some of the most interesting and innovative environmental projects that are going on the Gold Coast right now. Right, let's get going.
Managu, welcome to Gowanaba Indigenous Protected Area on the Gold Coast. It is a Kumameri owned asset and managed by Indigenous people. We have 200 acres of dry sclerophyll forest and rainforest and a beautiful freshwater creek that's our main asset throughout the property. We have 13 endangered and rare flora species and 2 endangered fauna species that we know of so far. So we've owned this property for 22 years now and have been federally funded by the government to care for the flora and fauna, conserve it. So today we're going to take you around and give you a little show of our site and show you some of that flora and our bushtucker that we boast on this site as well. So we focus a lot of our time and energy around maintaining our creek as it's our main asset. We do a lot of native planting around our riparian area. We also conduct water quality testing monthly ourselves at 3 different locations along the creek line. We engage the City Council's Catchment Management Unit, who also come and do a macroinvertebrate sweep and water quality testing so we can analyse our data together. We've had good and bad situations come through our area, so we get floods when it rains. With 8 hours of heavy rain, we have 8 different runoff creeks and an aquifer that fills, so we do get flash flooding. A wall of water comes through here. It redesigns the landscape every time, which does affect our workload and our tracks, so we put a lot of effort into fixing them back up to get access to our site, which is a problem when it flash floods. We do get a lot of natural springs popping up when the aquifer is full under trees, so that's gorgeous. We have had some issues from that, apart from just redesigning the landscape, which makes it hard for us humans, but we've had agriculture issues, so farms upstream and coming from Tambourine Mountain that wash down into our area, we get things like rhubarb and other crops popping up that we have to hand remove to stop that infestation starting down here. So it's very important. We've also gone around and asked our neighbours on the valleys and hills around us to ensure their cattle, the droppings aren't run off close to the stream or close to the hill, so when it rains it doesn't filter down into our area. We have done tests to see the water quality is pretty much perfect, 0 pollutants, which we want to maintain, so we continue to build our riparian by planting native plants along it and removing any non-native species. Our work by the creek is very important as we've had many natural disasters come through, like Cyclone Debbie that come through decimated. There was whole areas and sections we were working on removing hand removal of weeds. When the cyclone come through, it gave us an extra helping hand, cleared those sections out for us and gave us the ability to go in and plant our native species straight in there now they were gone. My father used to regularly talk to us about the natural cycles within this area on the Gold Coast. We know that every 10 years we should be having fires to prevent a big giant wildfire decimating our area. And in between those seasonal changes we should be doing activities such as cold burning for the fire. We know that the water, the floods come. Once upon a time before climate change come in, we knew that there was a flood every 1 to 3 years, 1 flood every 3 years. Now we're experiencing 3 floods within a year. So we know how much things have changed because of climate issues and environmental factors. So it's our job to continually do activities to bring back the conservation status of this area and hopefully let it spread out to further parts of the Gold Coast. So this is one of our other excellent bushtucker variety examples, the Alphatonia excelsior, the soap bush. So we identify this by the green on the top and the white underneath leaf, and also the white trunk. That's that tree there. So we were able to get some. I'm going to try and do a demonstration for you of how they use this as an antibacterial soap to clean their hands and bodies, but they also used it as a toxin to trap fish and use that. So I'll just see if I can get this going. Bit of water in your hands and try and get a good lather going. So I gotta get a little bit more water. And you can see the lather, the soap bubbles starting to form and lather up. So our people would use this to keep clean, antibacterial properties within it. Good little plant to know during these coronavirus times, maybe. Another amazing natural remedy in the bush, bracken fern. So this is one hopefully everyone should be familiar with if you've been bushwalking. So you dig down, get the root out. If you ever get stung by a bee, a wasp, a jumping ant, which we have out here in Ngarang-Wal, you cut open the root. I don't have my knife with me, otherwise I'd demonstrate. Cut open this part, and there's a white paste which you would just rub on the affected area, and it is 20 times better than anything we have on our commercial markets, because I've been bitten by a jumping ant here. I held it till we dug up the bracken fern, put it on, had relief to continue working. The sandpaper fig, one of our favourite trees out here, our native species. The leaves, this is one way to identify them on your property or in public. Go and feel the leaves, they feel exactly like sandpaper. You can hear that scratchy noise. So we believe that they use this plant to smooth the Aboriginal tools and weapons in this area, along with many other uses. The fruit is a big point as well for our people. So we know in this area there is one wasp, the fig wasp is the only wasp that propagates the fruit on these trees. Without that wasp species, the fruit will not propagate and the little maggots inside will continue to live. So we can see some on here, they grow off the leaf stems, but they also grow, interestingly enough, on the trunk of the tree, which is fascinating. We think that's brilliant. And when they're ripe and ready, they go a bright red colour, and you know that's when they're ready to eat. I wouldn't recommend eating the green ones, they've got bugs in them now until that wasp propagates them. Okay, so this is our bushtucker samples. I just found a few that the kids had left behind. So one of my favourites I'll start with is the native finger lime. So we break that in half, and if you squeeze all the bulbs out, that's all edible. I hear they're great in cocktails and other things like salads and stuff, just like a normal exotic lime, but this is our native Gold Coast species. So these are the red varieties. So I said we have the yellow, green and red ones. So I'll just pop that open. The smell. So we squeeze that out and you can get all that out of it. A beautiful bushtucker. Another one we just looked at before was the sandpaper fig. So these are the different colour variations. So this is the colour, the green colour before the wasp propagates it, and I'll just do very hard to open when they're like this.
yeah, very difficult. I won't even bother with that one. This is a less semi-ripe one, so you'll see, I'll just pop it open, the yuckiness inside that you don't want. We want that propagated and fruitful. Hopefully this one's a bit fresher. Feels soft enough. Aha, so you've got a bit of that red colour. No, that's not as good either. So we kind of want it to go this reddy colour when it's propagated. They're not quite ready yet, it's not in season, but they're coming. So this is the native ginger. This is the ginger root we dig out of the ground, just like an exotic ginger that you buy from the supermarket, but not so much of a strong taste like our exotic ginger. It's a lot more tolerable, I believe. So you can eat that part of it, you can chew on it, chop it up, use it in cooking. We also have the leaves. You can use them to wrap your fish and meats up in, and that ginger flavour will infuse into it. The other part of the plant, we have the seeds. So our people, the Aboriginal people on the Gold Coast, would use these to just propagate and spread the plant around the coast. So you peel off one of the husks, you put that in your mouth, taste the flavour, then we spit it out into the ground so that that plant will shoot up where we spat that seed out. So that's why you see this plant prominent all over the Gold Coast area. So here we've dug up some of the lamandra. This is left over from the bushtucker if the children left, but we inform them if you can chew on the ends of this, it tastes like a sweet pea, just a snack on the go. We also know our ancestors would dig out the base of the lamandra and crush it up to make our flour for this area. That was our natural flour making plant, was one of the lamandra species. So. Another one that we have that is one of my favourites is the native raspberry, the broadleaf raspberry. So you can tell it usually by the leaves. It's also a very spiky vine, so it will stick to your clothes, Velcro-like. But that's how you can, best way to identify as a leaf, different colour on the underside, and it's got the spikes that start along the stem. But the fruit comes out, so it's a white flower with the purple insides, and out of the middle of the flower will come the little raspberry, which you can just pull off to eat, and they're beautiful fresh. So we know these are a natural remedy for IBS and diarrhea and stomach issues. Tried and tested out here by us mums. So yeah, it's a wonderful species to have on your property. So this is another bushtucker plant. One of our other favourites is the white mulberry tree. So if you come in close, you can see that there's little fruit on there. It also grows on the trunk of the stems. It's not as flavoursome as the red mulberry tree that everyone's used to seeing, and it's quite little, and as you can see, they're quite fragile little seeds. So you need to eat them directly off the tree or try and snap freeze them if you can, but we've tried to take them home. They don't last very well in the heat. So yeah, we just recommend eating straight off the plant. So this is the native lily pilly. It's a summer flowering, winter fruiting species. A lot of people will have this in their garden and not even know, mainly until it fruits. And it's also, the leaves, they're easily mistaken for the Morea plant also, until you see the fruit come up. So the fruit comes in different colours. We've got the pink species out here, there's purple, lighter pinks, all different colours. Very yummy and edible. Also, a funny fact is the leaves are edible also.
So yeah, keep an eye out for this species. You can shrub it, you can let it grow up into a big giant tree like this one. It got massive and constantly dropping fruit for us. So we're back at the shed now. This is our main area. I just wanted to share with everyone a little memorial garden. So if you happen to come up here, we got a little plaque here honouring one of our first project managers for this site, my father Tony. We've planted a few native species in there and one non-native species, the hibiscus. Not the hibiscus, the frangipani, because we know that won't spread around our site, and that was a gift from one of our local neighbours. Just a reminder too, if you want to reach out to us, check out our Facebook page, Ngarang-Wal Gold Coast Aboriginal Association Incorporated. We also have Instagram, a web page, and you're welcome to come up and visit our site. We just ask everyone to sign in at the shed area when you come in and respect our facilities and site, and share any photos you have to our social media. We love to see them. Thank you.